we got a model here that's talking about girl perfect, and it's obvious that well, she was a runway model, and this is the cover of the book. But I'm interested in the subheadings: Confessions of a Former Runway Model, An Imperfect Girl's Journey to True Perfection. And we want to be sure we understand what she means by journey to true perfection, what that perfection is. It's Jennifer Strickland, and she spent a lot of years on the runway, and really led to a tremendous, let's say, a heavy load of challenges and problems that were imposed on her, drug her in to try to live up to the expectations, probably her own and others, and really was sad, and she could have lost her life. As a matter of fact, she really reached a point that she despaired of life, didn't want to live. Would you welcome Jennifer, and let's hear her story. Jennifer Strickland, the book is called Girl Perfect, and you started modeling fairly young. Am I right about that?
That's right, about 8 years old. My mom enrolled me in a local modeling school. I think she was just trying to help me get some poise. I wasn't very coordinated, I wasn't very athletic, and I was obviously going to be tall. And so I learned to stand up straight and stand still as a mannequin in store windows and do the little T-ramp in the mall. And
did you think it was fun?
I did.
You weren't just like being totally pushed into it,
no.
You actually thought this was pretty cool.
It was fun. It became kind of a little world where I fit. And I grew up in that world, and I did learn to stand tall. And it was fun when I was young, and it was innocent in the beginning.
I was going to ask you if it was innocent and felt innocent, and everybody probably kind of assumes it's going to stay innocent.
Yes, looking back, I realize it wasn't the most innocent place for a young girl to be, because most of the photographers are going to be in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and I was 8, 12, 14, 15. And so that's not a very good position for a young girl to be in with the man on the other side of the camera. But at the time, we thought it was exciting, and it was fun, and it was a great opportunity for me.
When did you begin to realize that it wasn't just innocence? How old were you, and what was going on?
I was probably about 18 years old. I was living in Paris and Greece, Germany, Australia, and I was seeing the lives of the models behind the scenes.
And you were in a lot of the big magazines. You were in Vogue. You were in a lot of them. And did you think that was really special when you made that particular, let's say, whether it was a cover or a photo shoot in one of the bigger magazines? Was that success to you?
There was always this kind of internal battle. I knew it was very superficial. I knew that little girl inside of me always knew that I was more than what I looked like, that I was worth more than that. But the world was telling me that I was worth what I looked like, and I was worth the pages in the portfolio. So while I was chasing after building my portfolio and building my dream to go to Europe and do the runway and get the TV commercials and the music videos and all of that, there was this part of me that always knew that it was not authentic, that it was not really true to myself, because I knew that I was worth more than that.
Well, as a model, I've wondered this too, as I see different models, do they feel as pretty as they come across? I mean, inside, do they
look like they're
perfect.
They're confident.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you feel that
Well,
way,
your confidence is very much tied to the flesh. You're confident if you're perfect on the outside, if you look on the outside, if you're getting the applause of the photographers. But living with the models in the models apartment, and I talk a lot about their stories. I talk about them in depth in the book, because I want to reveal what their lives were really like behind the scenes. Often these girls were very hungry for approval. They were very empty. We were all on this roller coaster of acceptance, rejection, acceptance, rejection. One day you're beautiful, one day you're not. One day you're accepted, the next you're not. And there's always a new pretty girl coming to town. You know, and there's always someone more beautiful than you. It's really the plight of every woman.
Did the models who were beautiful feel like, well, she's more beautiful, or this part looks better with her, or she's got me beat, or I could never look like that? Did they have those feelings?
Absolutely, because they're girls. Yeah. But the problem with that is that when your value is based upon the comparison game, you will always fall on a different place in the scale.
Somebody's always got more to offer in various areas.
That's right. That's right. And so you'll forever be on the roller coaster ride when you live that comparison game. And that's where we have to turn and we have to look at what our value is eternally and what our value is in God's eyes. And that's what really changed my life, is beginning to say, you know what, as long as I rely on the photographers and the models and the world to define me, I am forever going to be on this roller coaster ride.
And that is where you were.
Oh yeah, until it crashed and went off the tracks and burned.
So it really got bad.
It got really bad.
How do you define that as bad? What did it get to? What happened? And by the way, were they trying to get you into trashy stuff too? Is that part of the game? They try to get you into more seductive poses and nude photography, whatever they can get you into, convince you ought to go that way. That's pretty typical.
At 18, 19 years old, yes.
Pretty typical.
And I was always having to fend that off, and I was always having to fight to keep my innocence. But over a period of time, that's kind of chipped away. It's just chipped away at you. And I lost that little girl, that little hopeful girl inside of me that was 8 years old and just wanted to, do what was
Every little girl wants to be pretty.
Well, and every little girl wants to be loved.
They want to be loved. They want somebody to convince them, and it'll start with Dad. You're pretty.
That's right. And that's where you think you're going to get the applause. But what happened with me is I began, as most girls do, which is why I wrote the book, is that you begin to equate being pretty with being loved.